Today I'm making a delicious walnut coffee cake, and I got this recipe from allrecipes.com. The name of the recipe is Amazing Pecan Coffee Cake, but I'm using walnuts today because they were on sale. All of the measurements will be in the description box and linked below, so go ahead and check that out. To get started, all I've done is chop 1 cup of walnuts into smaller pieces because they were whole, and this will make up our topping. So let's get started. What I've done so far is I've melted 2 tablespoons of butter, and I have 1 cup of walnuts that I've gone ahead and chopped up. I'm going to add that to my melted butter, and this is going to be making up the topping on top of the coffee cake. And I like to get every little bit. And to this, we're going to add some brown sugar. This is roughly about 1/2 cup, probably a little more. And then we're going to add some ground cinnamon as well. And I'm just it's going to be about a teaspoon. I really like cinnamon, so I'm not too shy with this. Then all we're going to do is mix it up and set it to the side. When we sprinkle this on top of our coffee cake, it's going to sort of melt into the surface of it, and the sugar's going to get nice and caramelized. The walnuts are going to get nice and toasted, and it's really delicious. So I'm just going to give this a little stir, and we're going to set that to the side. And here I have a cup of melted butter. I'm going to be mixing my wet ingredients first, then I'm going to combine my dry ingredients. I have my cup of sour cream ready to go, and it's actually probably a little bit over a cup, but that's fine. And that brown stuff at the bottom, that's brown sugar from the topping, so don't freak out, there's nothing wrong with the sour cream. I'm going to make sure I get everything in there, and then I'm going to add 2 eggs to this. And we're going to go ahead and mix this around till it's nice and combined. Now I'm ready to add my sugar. In goes 1 cup. I'm going to add 1 cup and a half. That's good right there. And let's go ahead and add our cinnamon already. We're going to need 1 tablespoon, which is a lot more than the recipe calls for, but I really love cinnamon. If you're not a crazy fan of cinnamon, then go easy on it, but I can't get enough of this stuff. Okay, now let's go ahead and stir that around. Now, in the original recipe, it does say to cream the butter and the sugar together, and you could definitely go ahead and do that. I've been melting the butter recently, and I see no difference in the texture or the flavor at all. It's a matter of preference. It's just easier for me because I don't have to work so hard to get it incorporated. I do have my stand-up mixer, but it is so easy to do it by hand this way that this is what I do now. Okay, now I'm going to add 2 cups of flour into our mix. Oops, there goes 1 cup. And there goes 2. Notice that I'm not sifting the flour. I know some people, usually like old school bakers, swear by it, but again, I don't see any noticeable difference. So if I don't notice a difference, I'm not going to do extra work. And I'm also going to add a tablespoon. Actually, this is a teaspoon. Where's my tablespoon? Tablespoon of baking powder. Okay. And if you didn't use salted butter, please be sure to add a little bit of salt. If your butter is unsalted, I would say add about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Mine was already salted, so I'm gonna leave it alone. And now we're just gonna combine the remaining ingredients together. I prepared my pan by taking a stick of butter and rubbing it very liberally around this glass baking dish. You can also use a metal baking dish. If you do use metal, just go ahead and after you're done applying the butter, dust it with some flour to make sure it doesn't stick, or you can put parchment paper underneath and grease the sides. That works well too. And now we're gonna pour our coffee cake mixture into the bowl. Make sure everything gets in there. Okay, I poured my mixture into my prepared pan and I smoothed it out with my spatula. What also helps is kind of just shaking it back and forth will kind of level it out. And I'm gonna go ahead and start sprinkling the topping that we prepared earlier. The easiest way to do this, honestly guys, is just take a little bit and start sprinkling it over the top. Try to get it as evenly distributed as possible. That way each slice will have a nice topping to it. Now I'm going to go ahead and bake this in my preheated oven. It's been heating at 350 degrees. I'm going to pop it in there and bake it for approximately 30 minutes. These times may vary depending on how hot your oven runs. I just took out the coffee cake out of the oven and it smells so ridiculously good. It's nice and brown on the top. The sugar's caramelized, and I'm actually taking this to a potluck today, and I think everyone's gonna be super happy. And that's all there is to it, you guys. Thanks for watching.